Hey guys, Glitch here, and today I'm going to be casting for you a best of 3 from the GIGABYTE Cup. Spawning here right in the bottom right position of Shakuras Plateau as the red Protoss. Playing from Team Virus, we have Elfi. Spawning here in the top left position as the yellow Terran, we have Beastyqt. Now both of these players I have cast games from before, and both of them are absolutely amazing players, and this best of 3 was played in the most recent GIGABYTE Cup, so I thought I'd check him out. VirusElfi, I've actually been really wanting to check out his PvP lately, just because supposedly his PvP has been really good. He actually took out Huck in a very recent tournament. Damn it, I forget which one it was, and I am not gonna remember which one it is right now. God, what was it? Was it the Asus Republic of Gamers? It might have been. I don't know. Anyway, Elfi took out Huck recently in a PvP match, and supposedly his PvP is supposed to be ridiculously good, so I'm going to have to cast one of those, but that is not what we are going to be looking at today, because today we are going to be looking at his PvT in this best of 3. As well as Beastyqt, we have seen him before. I actually casted a game of his earlier this week. So, what are some things we can be expecting from both of these players? Well, I'm actually not all that familiar with either player. I did cast Beastyqt before, and I have casted Elfi before, but I'm not super comfortable in knowing well enough what to predict from either of these two players, but definitely excited to see what they're going to be going for here. I know that in PvZ, Elfi does some crazy can do some Phoenix DT style play, and he's very strong at it, but I haven't seen too much of his PvT. So today is going to be the day that we are going to find out what Elfi does in PvT. Well, so far he is being really annoying with this probe, starting to attack that SCV that's building the barracks that has now gone down for Beastyqt. In the base of Elfi, he has thrown down a gateway, and he's now getting up a gas geyser as well. Looks like neither player is going to be looking to go for a very fast expansion here, as is common on Shakuras Plateau. On Shakuras Plateau, it's very common just because this natural and main is so easily defendable by this one small ramp here that it's pretty common to see a lot of players just fast expand in almost every single matchup. So the fact that both of these players are not going for the fast expansion, well, I suppose it's still possible that Beastyqt might go for one, might throw down a command center after only one barracks, and then lift his racks and then to block the ramp down here. Yep, there we go. It looks like it is going to be a 1 racks expand here from Beastyqt. Then I'm sure very shortly we're going to see this barracks be lifted up, dropped down into this lower position, and 2 more be added on. Another option is just throwing down a bunker. That's something that Terrans commonly do as well. But as we can see, Elfi did not go for the fast expand. Usually if you're going to go for a fast expand as a Protoss on this map, it's going to be a Forge fast expand, or you will build this gateway and this cybernetics core down here on the low ground to start to constrict movement through this ramp. As we can see, he's not really going for that right now, and we do see 1 Stalker on the way. Now, in Protoss versus anything really, you always want to keep track of what your first unit is going to be. A lot of times players will dismiss the first unit that comes out of a gateway. They'll see a gateway and they'll say, whatever, it's a sentry, whatever, it's a zealot, whatever, it's a stalker. But whatever unit can come out, the first and second units that come out can make a huge difference in what you are going for. If you're going for something a little bit more defensive, you want to get up that quick stalker, or you want to get up that early sentry rather. But if you want to start getting some early map control, you want to go for some early aggression, you want to get up that early stalker so that you can start moving across the map. And what do we actually see here from Elfi? But 2 stalkers coming out across the map right now. That is going to be a very interesting move here by Elfi. It's very common when you see early pressure to see a zealot followed by a stalker, just because a zealot's very good at taking damage and dealing damage to lots of early units like lings and marines, and the stalker is very mobile, does some good damage. But here we actually see Elfi moving out here with 2 stalkers. This is kind of a unique little push, not something I've seen used too much before. And in the meantime, notice he is throwing down 4 warp gates. Warp gate research has now finished, and there we go. We do now have all those pylons going down into position, and we do see pylons on this low ground as well. And what did I say earlier? We see all those pylons going into position? No, what we saw going into position is we saw Warp Gate coming into effect. Beastyqt is aware of this though, and he has seen it. And now I'm starting to see what Elfi might have been going for with these stalkers. These stalkers are very fast units. If this bunker wasn't here and so well placed, he could have just walked right by that and started to warp units up onto the high ground. But as we can see now, he's going to be forced to just fight straight up at the front, and now it looks like Elfi is just going to be pulling back till he gets some more reinforcements up. He really wants to be able to get up that ramp right now, but it looks like these bunkers are going to be able to complete. And I think Beastyqt is going to be pretty well defended here. This wall off is going to be very Tricky to get by here for Elfi. He would lose a lot of stalkers if he just tried to run by this, and especially with that last supply depot going up, walling that off completely, that's going to be very hard for Elfi to break. And yes, we do now see him throwing down an expansion just because this aggression didn't quite work out for him as well as he would have liked. Forge going down very early here for Elfi. I kind of like this move. I like this move. He's going to leave these warp gates very inactive for a while, and this is something we're starting to see all Protoss players do, really. This is something that's just becoming more and more common for Protoss players to get up lots and lots of warp gates early, but no units. And then they save up a little bit of chrono boost, and then they take some map control. As you can see, he's got a stalker on each of these watchtowers, so he can warp in units if he needs to. Anytime he wants, he can warp in 4 units, chrono boost each one of these warp gates, and then warp in another 4 units and get up a lot of units really fast. And this is something that we're seeing very commonly from Protoss. It's almost like a Zerg point of view. It's almost that wait, build up probes, get up tech, and then all of a sudden surge forward with lots and lots of units. And that's what we've been seeing a lot from Protoss players lately, and some players like Day9 has actually predicted that is actually where a lot of the PvX matchups are going to go towards, is getting up all those gateways and not producing anything out of them, just having them ready on standby to produce lots of units. Now we do see a double engineering bay down here for Beastyqt, going to be getting down those double upgrades. Always love double upgrades from any player, really. Especially as Terran, when you're going for bioforces, as it looks like Beastyqt is going to be going for, then getting double upgrades is very good, because these units are very inexpensive, and especially Marine Marauder, very gas light. So one way of spending a lot of that gas and making sure that your Marine Marauders are very strong is to get up a lot of early upgrades. We do see now a starport going down here for Beastyqt as well. Reactor going down, going to start to get up those medevacs, because as we can see, his marine count right now is very high. And this factory now just going to be flying down. Is he going to be using it at all? We do now actually have charge research coming down along the way, as well as ground armor level 1. That's a very interesting first upgrade here for Elfi to be getting. He's going to have his zealots be very strong here. And look at this smart play from Elfi. He has not seen anything to indicate drop play yet, but you know what? Just in case, he's throwing down a couple of zealots there at the back in case there are any marine drops in the back of his mineral line. And in the meantime, he's still maintaining map control, and it looks like Beastyqt is now going to move out, and there we go. Now Elfi does see it, and he's going to be reacting to it and pulling back. Yes, he's going to be pulling back these couple of stalkers. Now knows these forces are moving forward, and here we're going to start to see some warp-ins coming down from these warp gates. What is he going to be building here on this low ground? He's just now throwing down this pylon. I guess he's waiting for that pylon to complete. I don't know about that, because there's a lot of forces getting close to his front door. He's got a couple of sentries here, so he can wall off for just a little bit with force fields, and there we go. Now units being warped in here for Elfi. Couple of zealots coming in right now. Another couple of gateways being thrown down as well. This charge is about to be completing here, but Beastyqt is going to be dropping up here on the high ground. One scan does go down, and now Elfi is pulling back, but there's a small attack force moving in through the front, going to start to pick off a lot of probes here, and now Elfi's going to start to take out this attack force in the back, but this is a lot of forces. In the meantime, all these forces did manage to get into the back. Lots of probes going down here for Elfi. Looks like he has lost 6 so far, and he's going to continue to warp in more units, but look at how fast they're being focused down by those stemmed up bio forces from Beastyqt. And look at this beautiful, brilliant thinking here by Beastyqt. He said, you know what, I'm not going to overcommit to this attack and lose all this stuff. Instead, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do damage, and you know what, instead of just sticking around and saying, you know what, forget these units, I'm going to just leave them there, I'm going to pull back, I'm going to be nice and safe, and I'm going to save everything. Look at the units lost tab right now. Right now for Elfi, 1,100 resources worth of units lost right now. Beastyqt has lost 2 units. That's nothing. He's lost an SCV, I think. I think he lost maybe 1 SCV in the early game, and that's about it. He hasn't lost a whole lot. He's lost very little on his part, and I absolutely love that. And oh no, there is still a lot of zealots here for Elfi, so still doing the smart move, knowing that his opponent has all those things there, but this drop is going to come around from the back, and I think he's going to be able to pick off a few probes here. Elfi reacting about as quickly as he could. Now all the charge slots are moving and going to try to focus down these forces and do some damage, and once again, Beastyqt just playing it safe, picking up all those units and getting right back out of there after getting another 5 workers killed. We check out the worker count right now. We can see that Beastyqt is going to be up 54 to 42. That is, of course, because of all that damage he's dealt. In the meantime, he's got this marine here positioned on this side of the map. to check for any third bases potentially going down. Templar Archives now up and researching that Psionic Storm. Double Forge now up from Elfi. I really like this, especially given the fact that recently all these upgrades, the upgrade cost was reduced on all these upgrades. So getting a Double Forge has become so much more viable in PvX. Just whatever matchup you are playing in, getting upgrades is so much easier now for Protoss players, so I absolutely love the choice of a Double Forge here by Elfi. Now, it looks like Beastyqt is going to be taking another base, but so far, he's just been playing really smart. I absolutely love everything he's been doing so far. He's been playing very safe. He's been doing lots of poking with small groups of units. He's been doing multi-pronged attack, but most of all, he's been saving his units. He doesn't want anything to die. Ooh, a little bit of sketchy. Oh, there goes. That was a lot of energy on that medevac, and that was a feedback that just went down. For those of you that don't know, feedback does 1 damage per point of energy that unit has, and in that case, that medevac had a lot of energy, so lots of damage was done, and Beastyqt did lose all those units. But overall, Beastyqt is playing very smart. He's playing very conservative. He's just poking, doing multi-pronged attacks, not taking big risks, but making sure that he values every single unit and keeps every single unit alive. And you can see that it's really starting to pay off now. As we can see on that units lost tab, Elfi's lost a lot more than he has. And on the food count right now, 137 food to the 112 food of Elfi. So he is quite a bit ahead. Forward pylons are now being placed here by Elfi, though, and it looks like he's going to start to get aggressive. He's got a lot of Templar in this mix. This is a mostly Zealot Templar mix, which is a very interesting mix of units. He's got a couple of sentries that have been up since the beginning of the game, so they have a ton of energy right now. And Beastyqt just sending one Marine forward to try to scout, but notice there are a lot of ghosts starting to build up in this army of Beastyqt, and a good EMP goes off on the High Templar. They instantly run out of energy, instantly start to get morphed into an Archon. Beautiful Psystorm. They're going down by Elfi, and he's starting to move forward with a lot of these Zealots, but the Bioforces of Beastyqt are just so great right now, and they are now going to be moving forward, targeting down that Archon. It never even gets to get born, as he's now going to be stimming forward right now. These Marauders do have that concussive shell ability. They're going to be able to slow those units. The sentries being picked off, they are absolutely critical, and more units going down here for Beastyqt. And once again, he picks off what he can, and then he just pulls back, and beautiful stutter step micro there from Beastyqt. Man, I am really liking his play right now. His play is showing up to be very strong, and he has now secured that third base. He is now a base ahead of Elfi, and Elfi's really struggling now to keep up. And we do actually have another command center going down as well. So, Ghost Academy now researching that personal cloaking ability. More medevacs being created. Second starport coming down with a reactor now. This is most likely, well, actually, I'm not sure entirely why you want to see that. He could be trying to kick up his medevac production by a lot, but I don't really see that being super helpful. Vikings right now aren't going to be terribly helpful because because Elfi rather does not have any robo facility up right now at all. He's not getting any kind of robotech, so no Colossi are coming up, so Vikings are not going to be something that Beastyqt is going to have to worry about getting. And check this out from Beastyqt, getting the +3/+3 upgrades on all his Bioforces. The armory is up right now, but that is strictly for upgrades, I think. I'm looking for if he's doing anything with a factory right now, but holy barracks, Batman, that is a ton of barracks here now up. Looks like 9 barracks currently up here for Beastyqt. Double starport now up as well. That Ghost Academy still pumping out that personal cloaking ability, but Elfi looking like he's going to try to get pretty aggressive here once again. His upgrades are pretty good right now. 3/1 upgrades, doing very good in the upgrade department. And ooh, snipes going off on those High Templar. Nice snipes there by Beastyqt. Not the best Psystorm going off there for Elfi. He's going to try to engage here. Lots of Marines moving forward. All those Archons not getting morphed in the best position right now, as they're going to be taking a lot of damage from these all these Bioforces, and now Beastyqt focusing down everything, and Beastyqt completely smashing that attack there from Elfi. Now over double the food supply, 155 food right now to the 78 food of Elfi. Beastyqt is being an absolute beast in this matchup. I'll give you a second to think about that one. Yeah? Clever? Yeah, no, not really. Anyway, Beastyqt continuing to move forward, and Elfi gives the GG. Beastyqt takes game 1 of this series, so that means we are going to be moving into game 2 right now, ladies and gentlemen, to see if Elfi is going to be able to push this to a game 3, so don't go anywhere.